So, just got done watching WrestleMania X7 from April 1st, 2001, from the Reliant Astrodome. When I was at WrestleMania 25, the Reliant Astrodome was near the new stadium where WrestleMania 25 took place, so I got a chance to visit the site of the greatest, not just the greatest WrestleMania of all time, but the greatest wrestling produced pay-per-view ever. Here are my ratings for all the matches that took place. 11 matches took place at WrestleMania X7. Here are my matches from worst to best. Now, there was not a bad match on this show. The 1-star matches and 2-star matches, as I've explained in previous videos, it might sound harsh when I give out these ratings, but it doesn't mean I don't enjoy these matches either. The 11th placed match of the night was Chyna becoming the women's champion against Ivory. This was a job match, not much to it, 1 star. The 10th place match was the Gimmick Battle Royal, which featured a number of stars from the Golden Age and the Next Generation. It was commentated by the late great Bobby the Brain Heenan and Mean Gene Okerlund. It featured past stars such as Doink the Clown, not Matt Bourne though, Demolition Smash, aka the Repo Man he was in this, Earthquake and Typhoon, or Tugboat he was known in this, the eventual winner, the Iron Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter, Hillbilly Jim, Jim Cornette, Brother Love, and many more. Also, Kamala was involved in this one. This would actually be his first WrestleMania appearance. The Iron Sheik won. It was a fun match, but it went by very quickly. The stars were getting eliminated quite easily, to be honest, but it was fun to see all the old stars from yesteryear back at this historic WrestleMania. My 9th place match was the second match of the night. The APA versus Antaz versus Right to Censor, a wrestling heel group that seemed to have came to life in these recent years. The Right to Censor consisted of Buchanan, The Goodfather, Val Venus. Stevie Richards was at ringside. Jacqueline was at ringside for APA and Taz. APA and Taz won. And a pretty decent match, 2 stars. Next up was the European Championship match. Eddie Guerrero and Test. Now, I've reviewed WrestleMania X7 already this year, but I didn't want to leave it out of my ratings videos, and I've expressed how I didn't think this match was that great despite the talents involved. Eddie Guerrero, everybody loves Eddie. Test was I always enjoyed his work too, but this match was not too great. It was decent enough. I gave it 2 stars, but it wasn't anything you need to watch. 7th place match was another fun match of the night. It was the Hardcore Championship. Raven putting his Hardcore title on the line against the Big Show and Kane. This was fun, but I couldn't give it anything more than a 2-star rating. 6th place match of the night was Y2J Chris Jericho defending his Intercontinental Championship against Commissioner Regal. It was, these two together had a decent feud, a fun feud, 3-star match. It opened up WrestleMania 17. The 4th place match of the night was when The Undertaker went 9-0 at WrestleMania. This was 10 years after he defeated Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Undertaker had missed a couple of WrestleManias, WrestleMania 10 and WrestleMania 2000. And this was his first of 3 WrestleMania matches against Triple H. I awarded it 4 stars out of 5. I made a botch here. I've mentioned this match too early. But anyways, this was a great brawl, street fight, whatever you want to call it. This was when the streak was starting to get acknowledged a little bit more. JR mentioned it a few times. And I remember watching it live, and I was like, oh God, let him get to 9-0 so he can go to 10-0 the year next. And my heart was racing. I was watching this live on Sky Sports 1, 13 years old. This is my first WrestleMania watching it live. I'd watched the others previously, either a day after, a couple of days after. What a WrestleMania to watch live. And my heart was racing when Triple H hit him with a sledgehammer. Great counter from the attempted last ride. Undertaker full kicked out, and the streak lived on as he eventually got the last ride in. The match I actually missed was my 5th place match that gave 3 stars. Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit. Now I think this WrestleMania match of theirs is overrated a wee bit. I thought their matches they had at Backlash and Judgment Day, and I think there was a hell of a steel cage match on Raw they had together. Now those were 4 or 5-star matches. I didn't think this got enough time to be anything more than 3 stars. I don't think they were clicking right away when they first started facing each other. Their chemistry would be developed later on, I thought. Now a 3rd place match tonight. It's the first of 3 5-star matches. Vince McMahon versus Shane McMahon was highly entertaining. Why? I guess I loved the sports entertainment aspect of wrestling. The storyline leading into this was so OTT. It's just like EastEnders on steroids, this storyline. And it was just an amusing match to watch. Mick Foley was special guest referee. I remember listening to Mick Foley one year. He said that he wished he had been a part of WrestleMania X7 because he thought it was the best WrestleMania ever too. It's just a fun match. Trish Stratus got involved with a cat fight with Stephanie. Linda rose from her chair to help Shane McMahon, her son. And Vince McMahon, he was defeated by Shane in a very nice spot, coast to coast. Shane jumping from one side of the ring to the other, big drop kick into Vince McMahon, who was with a trash can in front of him. Just a fun match. Mick Foley also took a couple of sick chair bumps, one to the back and one right to his face by Vince. I really loved this match. And then right after that came the second of the 3 5-star matches of the night, Edge and Christian versus the Dudleys versus Jeff and Matt Hardy. Spike Dudley, Rhino, and Lita also got involved in this match. Lita actually ate a 3D. You wouldn't see that in today's climate, would you? Oh, you can't do that. I think during one of the spots in this Stuntfest match, TLC 2, Spike Dudley actually got his tooth knocked out for real when Jeff Hardy done his Swanton Bomb spot off the large ladder again this year. He kind of missed Rhino, but he got all of Spike Dudley, including knocking out his tooth. That must have been a sore one. And then there was also perhaps one of the best spots in WrestleMania ever when Jeff Hardy was dangling, holding on to the titles that were hanging from the arena, and Edge jumped off one of the ladders and speared him. Just what an awesome spot. The crowd went nuts, JR went nuts, and oh my God, that was one of the all-time great wrestling spots. So well timed. Nothing but respect for these guys in this match, including Lita, Spike Dudley, and Rhino. They were, put some effort into this match too. It was basically they were involved basically as well. Edge and Christian won the titles again. Number 1 is the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. Yes, it beats Shawn Michaels v Bret Hart. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock. I've watched this numerous times. This felt like, the atmosphere of like a football match, you really, even though we all know it's predetermined, yet Like, when I was 13, I really wanted Austin to beat The Rock, and this was his arch rival. This was his closest rival, The Rock. Oh, it was just the chemistry of, as I've mentioned before, between these two is off the page, and this match absolutely delivered. Blew their WrestleMania 15 match out of the water, blew all their matches out of the water. This was the greatest Austin v Rock match, and I can't think of a professional wrestling match that I've seen in my 20 plus years of watching that tops this. This was unbelievable. In fact, I'm going to give it 6 stars. 6 stars. This match is absolutely, the what main events are made for. Two of the biggest stars in wrestling history going one-on-one, both in their prime. It was a sight to see. And of course, WrestleMania 17 takes my top spot when I've been rewatching the WrestleMania. It's now ahead of WrestleMania 3, and I don't think any of the upcoming WrestleManias I will rewatch will top it. Maybe WrestleMania 34 will, maybe not.